When people picture Singapore, the first image that springs to mind is often not Chili Crab, the Merlion, or even Changi Airport's Butterfly Garden. Instead, it's those three impossibly angled towers with what looks like a spaceship balancing on top. Marina Bay Sands, or MBS for short, has become the visual shorthand for Singapore's ambition, a place where architecture and audacity shake hands across the skyline. Since its grand opening in 2010, this five-star integrated resort has become a symbol of luxury and innovation, and it is now preparing for its most dramatic evolution yet. The project, called IR2, is a staggering $8 billion expansion that includes a fourth tower, an enormous arena, and the promise of even more opulence. If the original MBS was a bold declaration of Singapore's future, IR2 is essentially that same declaration written in giant neon lights and punctuated with dollar signs. The marvel that started it all. Before we dive into IR2, it is worth remembering just how astonishing MBS already is. Covering almost 929,000 square meters, which is more than twice the size of Disneyland in California, the resort is not so much a hotel as it is an entire city pressed up against the bayfront. The hotel alone offers 1,850 rooms, with nearly half of them being lavish suites designed for guests who carry black cards thicker than their passports. The three towers lean dramatically at angles up to 26 degrees, designed by architect Moshe Safdie to appear as if they might topple over yet somehow remain effortlessly elegant. And then, of course, there is the crown jewel, the Sky Park. This massive deck stretches 340 meters across the towers and contains the world's largest rooftop infinity pool, where visitors float above the city pretending not to notice the tropical humidity pressing in from all sides. Yet the hotel and pool are only the beginning. The resort houses one of the world's largest casinos, a shopping mall so vast it could double as a small airport terminal, a sprawling convention center, multiple theaters, dozens of high-end restaurants, and even the Art Science Museum with its iconic lotus-like structure. At the time of its opening, MBS was the most expensive standalone casino ever built, costing nearly $7 billion, and it quickly proved its worth. More than 500 million visitors have passed through since 2010, annual revenue consistently tops $4 billion, and the resort contributes up to 2.7% of Singapore's GDP. It has created tens of thousands of jobs, poured billions into the local economy, and become one of the country's most cherished icons. IR2, the vision expands. Given this track record, it was major news when Singapore announced the first serious expansion of MBS. The original plan, revealed in 2019, was relatively modest, a fourth tower with around 1,000 rooms. Then, the pandemic arrived, putting everything on hold. By the time the project returned in 2024, it had ballooned into something far grander and far more expensive. The new plan, now carrying an eye-watering price tag of $8 billion, trades quantity for quality. Instead of 1,000 standard rooms, the new tower will contain just 570 ultra-luxury suites aimed squarely at the global elite. To sweeten the pot, it will also include a second casino, a rooftop deck called the Sky Loop, and a massive arena capable of seating 15,000 people. This pivot to ultra-luxury is no accident. In a post-pandemic world where travel costs have soared and the wealth gap has widened, the middle-class tourist is less reliable than the billionaire who barely flinches at dropping 5 figures for a weekend stay. Las Vegas Sands, the parent company of MBS, had been struggling with lower-than-expected casino earnings, and IR2 is their strategy to tilt the odds back in their favor. As one Reuters report dryly observed, this expansion is a major bet. And really, what better phrase for a casino operator? Moshe Safdie's return. Of course, if you are going to tinker with one of the most famous silhouettes in the world, you had better tread carefully. The Singapore government was very clear on this point when they brought Moshe Safdie, the original architect, back to design the expansion. "Don't mess with our icon," was the essence of the brief. Safdie admitted he briefly considered extending the Sky Park across all 4 towers, but quickly realized this would overwhelm the original design. Instead, he opted to place the new 55-story tower slightly apart from the trio, creating visual harmony without physical connection. The new tower will echo the leaning, curving forms of the originals so that they appear related, like members of the same family, as Safdie put it. At its top will sit the Sky Loop, a rooftop public garden and restaurant space that plays off the Sky Park while offering its own identity. Between the old towers and the new one will rise the giant arena, providing a literal and figurative buffer. Safdie himself compared the fourth tower to the dot of an exclamation point, an addition that emphasizes the original without diminishing it. Whether the public embraces that metaphor or sees it as a blot on the skyline remains to be seen. The groundbreaking ceremony. The careful planning gave way to action on July 15, 2025, when the groundbreaking ceremony officially launched the project. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong delivered a speech alongside Safdie, reminding the audience that the very land under their feet had once been open sea in the 1970s. He described IR2 as part of a larger vision called the Greater Southern Waterfront, a redevelopment project stretching across Singapore's southern coast that is 6 times the size of Marina Bay itself. Wong closed his remarks with a flourish, declaring that Singapore is never done building. It was both a patriotic rallying cry and a subtle reassurance that yes, the disruption to traffic will be worth it. But not everyone was convinced. Online reactions were mixed, with Reddit users mocking the fourth tower's design as out of place, comparing it to everything from a sore thumb to a giant dehumidifier. To be fair, in a country where humidity often feels like a wall you can walk into, a skyline-sized dehumidifier might not be the worst idea. Still, the criticism highlights the risks of altering a beloved landmark. Admiration and criticism. The debate around IR2 reflects deeper tensions not only in Singapore, but around the world. Admirers see the expansion as another bold step cementing Singapore's reputation as a city of the future, where dazzling architecture and ambitious urban planning create a sense of awe. Critics argue it is a project designed for the ultra-wealthy, reinforcing exclusivity and leaving average Singaporeans to admire it from the outside. This tension mirrors global patterns. As cities increasingly chase the richest clientele, they often become less accessible to everyone else. IR2 is not merely a new tower, it is a symbol of the broader question of who gets to participate in the future of global cities. Is it a vision for the many, or just a playground for the few? The future of IR2. The official completion date for IR2 is January 2031, and with construction now underway, that goal seems within reach. When finished, it will add another striking element to an already dazzling skyline and almost certainly cement Marina Bay Sands' status as one of the most luxurious resorts in the world. But it will also stand as a symbol of the choices Singapore is making as it positions itself in a rapidly changing global economy. Singapore has always been a nation unafraid to build bold visions out of literal sand, reclaiming land from the sea and reinventing itself time and again. Marina Bay Sands was one such reinvention, and IR2 is its sequel, bigger, shinier, and aimed even higher. The only question is whether this bet pays off not just financially, but socially, balancing admiration for its beauty with accessibility for its people. A gamble worth watching. In the end, IR2 is both an architectural project and a philosophical statement. It says that Singapore believes in building upwards, in creating landmarks that make the world stop and stare. It also says that the city is willing to gamble that ultra-luxury is the safest bet in an uncertain global economy. Whether you view the fourth tower as a magnificent new addition or as an oversized dehumidifier squatting by the bay, one thing is certain: it will keep people talking. By 2031, the Marina Bay skyline will look different once again, and Singapore will have reasserted its place as one of the world's boldest urban laboratories. Until then, cranes will climb, concrete will pour, and the city will keep building toward a future that is as glittering as it is exclusive. And that's the story of Singapore's boldest gamble yet, IR2 at Marina Bay Sands. If you enjoyed diving into the future of Singapore's skyline with me, don't forget to hit that like and make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and remember, cities never stop building and neither do we. See you in the next one.